Hi, welcome to day 3. The Lord envisaged a certain kind of ideal for Israel when they were to live in the promised land. In Leviticus 19:33 to 34, when a stranger sojourns with you in your land, you shall not do him wrong. You shall treat the stranger who sojourns with you as the native among you. You shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. That was Leviticus 19:33 to 34. The great command to love one's neighbor as oneself is specifically extended here to cover the foreign residents that Israel might encounter. And the same phrase is used in verses 18-34. Israel should be particularly sensitive to the resident aliens' problems, since they were once themselves in that situation in Egypt. Therefore, proper treatment of the alien is a common theme in the Old Testament that is often put together, as in this context, the reality that Israel themselves were once slaves in the land of Egypt. Now, this attitude, this ideal, throws a lot of light on the topic of prejudice. First, let us have some thoughts and counsel. Don't assume that the other person has any knowledge of life outside his or her own cultural boundaries. Even though the society as a whole is becoming more global, more globally minded, but many are still very narrow-minded in their understanding of differences in cultures. It might not be right or wrong. Of course, it is wrong. It falls into the category of sin. But other than that, there is a freedom of circle where God allows differences to exist, because within that freedom of circle, any one point within that, it is still under God's will and it's not sinful. We just have to be aware of the classifications. Help the person to understand that he or she must learn to celebrate the differences instead of judging the differences. As the love of God flows through Christians, we are drawn together as a body. Our relationships with one another are rooted in biblical teachings like, for example, Romans 12:10. Be kindly affectionate to one another. Romans 12:16. Be of the same mind toward one another. Romans 13:8. Love one another. Romans 14:19. Pursue the things which make for peace and the things by which one may edify another. 1 Corinthians 12:25. The members should have the same care for one another. Galatians 5:13. Through love serve one another. And Ephesians 4:32. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another. Colossians 3:13. Bearing with one another and forgiving another. Forgiving one another. Now, if we look at all these verses, you see the ideal that God has even for the stranger, the alien. Now, brothers and sisters at Ashford, then how would you treat those who are in the same church, who are committed to grow together? They are not even aliens or foreigners. They are dear brothers and sisters in Christ. In view of all the above verses and thoughts, surely there is no room for prejudice, especially among ourselves. See you for day number 4.